Hello everyone, in today's episode we'll take a look at another 7 important commands you should know that will enhance your experience when you use the Linux operating system. We will explain the following commands: nl, nslookup, printenv, notify send, ps, pushd and popd, and rev, giving also a quick demo of usage in different scenarios that you can use to improve the way you experience Linux and the terminal. So the first thing we'll look at is nl is used for numbering lines accepting input from stdin or file. The second thing we'll look at is nslookup. Perform the nslookup displaying DNS, IP, MX or NS details. The third thing we'll look at is printenv, ability to view all or part of the environment in Linux. The fourth thing we'll look at is notify send, sends desktop notifications to the user from the terminal. The fifth thing we'll look at is ps, view information related to the process running in a Linux system. The sixth thing we'll look at is pushd and popd, save remove directory into a stack and move to a new one. And the seventh thing we'll look at is rev. This utility reverses the order of the characters in each line. So to explain a bit more of all these commands, we'll give a wider definition of each one before we begin. nl command. While editing a text file, you might want to display the lines with line numbers appended before them, and here comes the roleplay of the nl command in Linux. nl command is a Unix Linux utility that is used for numbering lines accepting input either from a file or from stdin. It copies each specified file to stdout with line numbers appended before the lines. nslookup command means name server lookup is a tool used to perform DNS lookups in Linux. It is used to display DNS details such as the IP address of a particular computer, the MS records for a domain, or the NS servers of a domain. nslookup can operate in two modes: interactive and non-interactive. The interactive mode allows you to query name servers for information about various hosts and domains, or to print a list of hosts in a domain. The non-interactive mode allows you to print just the names and requested information for a host or a domain. Printenv command. In Linux and Unix-based systems environment, variables are a set of dynamic named values stored within the system that are used by application launched in shells or subshells. In simple words, an environment variable is a variable with a name and an associated value. Environment variables allow you to customize how the system works and the behavior of the applications on the system. For example, the environment variable can store information about the default text editor or browser, the path to executable files, or the system locale and keyboard layout settings. This is where printenv comes in, giving you the ability to change the environment you want. Notify send command. With notify send, you can send desktop notifications to the user via notification daemon from the command line. These notifications can be used to inform the user about an event or display some form of information without getting in the user's way. Very useful for sysadmins or even coders who want to integrate notifications in the apps they are writing. ps command. The ps command, short for process status, is a command line utility that is used to display or view information related to the processes running in a Linux system. As we all know, Linux is a multitasking and multiprocessing system. Therefore, multiple processors can run concurrently without affecting each other. The ps command lists current running processes alongside their PIDs and other attributes. It retrieves information about the processes from virtual files which are located in the proc file system. Pushd and popd commands. Pushd is a shell built-in command which allows us to easily manipulate the directory stack. This appends a directory to the top of the directory stack, or it rotates the stack, making the new top of the stack the present working directory. The D in pushd stands for the directory, as it pushes the directory path on the stack. This command has an exit status 0. For example, it returns success unless an invalid argument is supplied or the directory change fails. popd command is used to remove directories from the directory stack. The D in popd stands for the directory, as it removes the directory path onto the stack. After this command is executed, the present directory stack is displayed as a list of space-separated directories. Rev command. Rev command in Linux is used to reverse the lines character-wise. This utility basically reverses the order of the characters in each line by copying the specified files to the standard output. If no files are specified, then the standard input will be read. So let's jump in. First, you can see by typing nl help, it's going to give you the help file in order to help you understand more about how to use this tool. So in this example, as you can see, we're providing a -w6 against the file that we have already created that contains company names. As you can see from the output, there is a number for each line. So providing a -w2, you will gonna see that there is the same thing happening, but there is a difference between the space of the number and the name. You can also add custom characters, such as providing the -s and then the character you want, and this is gonna actually display the number, including the characters that you added, looking like this. So this is very useful if you want to output something on reports, including the numbers. So let's move to the next command, which is the nslookup command, and we're gonna demonstrate an nslookup against google.com. So as you can see, it has gave us the name server that Google is using. So providing more parameters like giving it the type, which is the name server, it's gonna display all of the name servers for Google, as you can see from the results that you can see from here. So you can also give it different types in order to investigate or perform reconnaissance on a specific domain. So the type is SOA, and then you can check all of the origin, mail address, and all the details for the specific domain server. So when you wanna print environment, as you're gonna see from here, providing always help is gonna give you information about it. You can see that it has printed all of the environment for all of the tools that you'll be using. So for example, if you wanna check the environment of shell, you can see that providing the shell home, it's gonna give you where it's gonna be running in which environment. So you can always edit this and change it. So now we're gonna move to the notify send command, which if you add help, it's gonna give you all of the arguments and options you can use. And this means you can send a notification to the desktop of any user, as you can see from here, that we have triggered the word hello BHEH, and a notification came on the lower screen to the right. So you can edit also the -t, which is gonna edit the way it's gonna send the message and split it into two parts. The first one will be like the title, as you can see from here, and the second one will be in smaller font, indicating a title and a message inside. So this is useful, especially when you're coding. You can also integrate notifications sent, or if you're a system administrator and you want to contact users on the specific network by providing them certain notifications on their desktop without coming and interacting with whatever the user is doing. So this is very useful, and a lot of times, depending on the GUI that you're using, the notification is going to be displayed accordingly. So now we're going to move into another command that is also very useful, which is the command ps. So as you can see, you can provide the tag help from here, and this is going to help you understand more parameters how to use it. So typing just ps -l or -s, you can see the difference because the time and the command are displayed for each process towards the end. This is very useful in order to track exactly what sort of command is running. So if you want to check processes, ps is the command to show it to you. And now we're going to move into pushd, which is going to show us how you can push the directory. So for example, providing the etc, you can see that it has displayed the directory, and then it gave you two spaces. So if we switch to var, this is gonna rotate the results of the first one, adding it to the top, as you can see from var. And if you print the working directory, you're gonna see that you are inside the specific directory, which is the first one on top. So popd is gonna do exactly the opposite. It's gonna remove the ones that you have added earlier. And as you can see now, popd displays etc, removing the var which was on top, and you can change to the main directory, as you can see from here, which will take you to the beginning. So rev is another command that you can use, which reverses the content of a file. So we're gonna look into the companies, as you can see from here, and it has reversed all of the characters inside the file. Very useful if you wanna reverse certain things, or specifically, you wanna display something in reverse when it comes to values. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Thank you for watching, and as always, Until next time.